The auction for FXD1 2024-10 concluded yesterday, the 13th November 2024. That means on Friday, that is tomorrow, the 15th of November 2024 is when you shall be receiving your results. In specific, the results that you expect to get, or the specific information that you are going to be getting from CBK via the TAUZSD transaction tab, and an SMS to the number that you programmed in the TAUZSD platform shall be to the specific amount that you're supposed to pay for the face value that you intended to invest, because it can either be a discount or a premium. And as per our previous review, when the issued instrument or paper has a coupon that is higher than the market interest rate, then always you expect a premium. A premium meaning that you get a price that is above par. But in the effort to maintain the market interest rate and through rejection of bidded bonds, then an adjustment by CBK will always try to work around to maintain the price near the par value, not to make the instrument so expensive, not to affect the existing market interest rates. And as so expected, our expectation through our review was that this paper would attract a premium. Then the second piece of information that you'll be receiving on Friday, that is tomorrow, will be your payment reference number. That is the 8 alphanumeric digits that you'll be required, together with that amount that you're supposed to pay, to use them to facilitate your RTGSing for the payment of those successful bids, which is supposed to be done on or before Monday, the 18th November. Something that you should have acquired and put it in your firmware. Through the many reviews that we have done in this channel and our endeavor to educate you on investment vehicles, you should have learned by now that bond auctions will always happen on a Wednesday. The results will always be conveyed on a Friday, and the payments will always be concluded on a Monday. That is to match the payments with redemptions, because coupons and the redemptions of bonds will always be wired to you on a Monday by afternoon. That is a piece of information that will never change with bond issues. So for this one, the auction happened on a Wednesday, the 13th November. The results are conveyed tomorrow on a Friday, the 15th November, and the payments should have concluded by 18th November, a Monday. The specific information on top of that, the two pieces that you will have received for the particular paper that you are purchasing, you also need your TAUZSD account number and your details, because when you are filling in that form for the RTGS with your bank, whether you are doing it physically in the bank or you are wiring, you are programming your RTGS via the online channels, you will be required to fill the beneficiary tab. And the beneficiary, it's you. You are supposed to key in your name as per the details that you issued in the TAUZSD platform. And that is your ID, as per your ID. Then when you are asked the beneficiary account number, it is not the CBK account number. It is your TAUZSD account number. Therefore, that is to say you need those four details. You need your name, that is the beneficiary. You need your TAUZSD account number, the one that ends with 004. The 004 suffix to that account is an indication that that is an individual account. If you bidded and you are paying as a company, or you bidded through your company, then that number change. If it is through a chama, a circle, that figure will also change. So once you have those two, you now need the specific amount, and you are supposed to indicate that amount as it is, including the cents. What would otherwise look at the decimal points. If you are required to pay 1 or 2,000.89, that 89, very important. Failure to indicate the 0.89, that transaction will be rejected. Use the full amount. Then you have the reference number that is specific to your bid. If you make numerous bids, or if you bidded more than one time, then each bid that you placed has a specific detail. So you are going to pay for as many bids as you bidded. You cannot combine payment for several bids. That said, let's look at the specific results out of this auction. And as per this schedule, which is an output for the results of the auction, then you first thing you capture is that your investment will mature, or these bonds will mature on the 13th March of 2034. That peaks during Easter of 2034. That is very important. Then the amount that the government was sourcing through this paper was an amount of 20 billion, and out of excessive bidding, oversubscription to this bid, the amounts that were bidded stood at 55.5 billion. Kenyans have money, 55.5 billion. Then with that translated to an excess or an over subscription of 35.5 billion, translating to 277%. The amounts that were accepted, CBK accepted bids of 30.5 billion, meaning that 25 billion worth of bids were rejected. So as a summary, for the 30.5 billion that were accepted, 9.5 billion were competitive bids and 21 billion was non-competitive bids. Someone would ask, why accept so many non-competitive bids as compared to the competitive bids? It is important to note that the weighted market average rate is determined using the competitive bidders. The competitive bids are the ones that are used to arrive at these important figures. Because the non-competitive bidders, we do assume, or we get rewarded with the coupons at the rates that have been calculated using the competitive bidders. So majority of the competitive bids are the ones that are rejected in order to bring down the market weighted average figures down to the accepted figures. The CBK has a duty to maintain the market interest rate at specific levels and also control inflation. And you have noted that in the recent times, the market interest rates have been coming down as well as the inflation rates. But my question and on observation of the channel, are you enjoying the same effect? If inflation is supposed to rob you purchasing power, it means when the inflation is coming down, you should be enjoying increasing purchasing power. But are you getting that one in the market? Put it in the comment section. Sometimes inflation may come down as a result of deflation measures and not necessarily of reflective figures in the market. Therefore, a cost of living could be going up when inflation is still coming down because this government, through its agencies, are taking specific measures to push inflation down. So in this case, a lot of competitive bids were rejected, and the market weighted average yield of the total bids that were received stood at 16.1127, which would have realized a higher value in terms of clean prices. But in order to maintain the market interest rates, the weighted average rate of the accepted bids, that is the 30.5 billion that were accepted, came down to 15.8553. And therefore, consequently, when you use those figures to determine the clean price for the issue, if you look at this schedule from the prospectus, a yield of 16% would have given us a clean price of 99.9348. The market weighted average yield for the total bids that were received stood at 16.1127, which is above the yield that is supposed to give us that 99.9348. And therefore, to calculate what would be the clean price for the weighted market average rate, then we arrive at a figure through this calculation. When you take that figure, the clean price at the 16% projected yield, that is the 99.9348, and we multiply this one by the market weighted average rate that was obtained from the auction, that is the 16.1127, then you divide that one with the projected 16% yield, you are getting a price, a clean price of 100.6387. So that was the clean price out of this auction. Then to this clean price, now we add the accrued interest. Accrued interest, we said, is the interest that has accumulated on this bond from the time of the immediate previous coupon payment, because we are investing into an existing bond. And for us to match what the existing investors are getting and fit in the coupon structure, then we are supposed to purchase that accrued interest, which will be paid back to us in the next coupon payment. And therefore, the accrued interest was calculated as 2.4615 per 100. And therefore, that is what generated the dirty price of 103 shillings, 0.0902, but because of the rounding off error, we are getting 103.1. That is the price that you're supposed to pay for your bids. And therefore, if you bidded like 100,000 was the face value for your bid, which translates to 1,000 hundreds, you're supposed to get your 103 shillings, 0.0905, then multiply that with 1,000 to get the actual price that you'll be paying for the bid that you placed. That is how the price is calculated, or the amount that you are going to be paying for this bid is calculated. You would note that the adjustment brought the price slightly above the par of 100 shillings, and therefore, as he had indicated in our original review, we expected a marginal premium, a marginal difference from the par price. And this has given us a marginal value of 0.0905, or just 0.1. Those figures that you have gotten as the values that you're supposed to pay, you're supposed to conclude your payments by Monday, that is the 18th of November, 2024. As a channel, we will always wish you fruitful investment journey. Thank you for watching.